All right, here we go. Oh, I want to get this in slideshow first. There we go. Beautiful. Cindy, can you see that? I can see you.
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so good evening, everybody, and thank you for jumping on this Zoom webinar. We are going to talk tonight about nutrition and supplements. And I'm just going to take a minute to introduce myself for those of you that don't know me. My name is Jillian Chase. I'm a wellness advocate with doTERRA, and I am also a certified health coach with IIN, that's the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I am a graduate of the Raw Food Institute. Actually, I have gone through as a participant twice and then gone back, I believe it's 3 times now, to volunteer, because that experience just made such a profound impression on me and my health that I have wanted to go back time and time again to just soak up as much as I possibly can. So my journey with nutrition really started probably realistically when I was 29. I spent 3 years trying to get pregnant, so from 29 to 33. And at that point in time, I started by doing research to figure out how I could prime my body to be in the best shape for what I was expecting to have come. And then when that didn't come, I spent several years really researching maybe some of the things that could have been affecting my body so that it wasn't coming as naturally to me as it might for some people. And then eventually what ended up happening was I really needed an outlet for my stress and for my just overall aggravation. And that outlet became running. So I started training for a half marathon. So in 2015, in May, I started running. In October of 2015, I ran a half marathon. So in that time frame, I was really researching and educating myself on the nutrition and supplements that I needed to kind of go from like a couch potato, to be totally honest with you, to running a half marathon, because it was a very different, very differently taxing my body. And at that point in time, my husband was a personal trainer. So I was trying to kind of go along with his journey and learning about nutrition as well. I call myself always having been kind of a supplement junkie, I will call it. I've always been very interested in all kinds of different supplements. And my journey really brought me through the nutrition and the supplement piece to the point where I've tried a number of different diets, including going vegan, going raw for a while. I've tried it, I've done the Whole30, I've done keto, I've done a number of different I will say nutrition plans rather than diets, trying to find what was really right and appropriate for my body. And I truly believe that there's no one right nutrition plan because all of our bodies are different. We all need different things. So we're going to talk tonight a little bit about nutrition and a little bit about why we need supplements. And then I'm going to cover a number of different supplements that doTERRA has to offer. So I don't want you to be overwhelmed. And I'm also not going to go through each one in great detail. So if there's a supplement you'd like to learn more about, first of all, the doTERRA website has so much information on it. If you go and you put in doTERRA and that supplement, so take a screenshot or write it down, go down and click on PIP, which is product information page, and you can really go kind of a deep dive into the products, into the components that's in each of these supplements. Otherwise, if you have specific questions about your health and maybe taking something, feel free to reach out to me after the fact, or whoever invited you to this class, of course. So here we go. Okay, so questions, right? 2 things we want to talk about, right? But to get started is, why are people around us so sick? And there is a picture of what I believe is probably a McDonald's burger there, I'm guessing. It's been a long time since I've had McDonald's. And also some medications. So we know, especially in the United States, which I know is where we are all from, that we don't necessarily have the best diet. And a lot of Americans are on medication. And a lot of this is necessary medication, and some of it is certainly unnecessary medication at the same time. I am a proponent of trying to use natural remedies as often as humanly possible. So we're going to talk about some of that tonight. And the second question here, do you think we get what we need for good health from our food? And I know the answer to that question is no. I want the answer to that question to be yes. And I believe that if you can get your nutrients and your vitamins, your minerals, and all of that from your food, then you should. But knowing what I know about the quality of our food, the fact that we're picking our fruits and our vegetables before they even ripen. I mean, they think about vine ripened tomatoes, unless you're growing them yourself, or maybe buying them at a farmer's market. If you're buying them in the grocery store, realistically, not so much vine ripened. They tend to be actually ripening in the truck, in the store, and then of course on your counter. Think about how many times you've purchased green bananas and then set them on the counter so that they can start to ripen, or even put them into a brown paper bag, right? So that's the first thing. So they're not spending as much time on the vine. They're not pulling up as many nutrients through the stems and the leaves. And then the second thing is the soil. So our soil is not being rotated as much, getting the crop rotation, and then the way that the farmers are growing, instead of doing different plots of different types of fruits and vegetables, we're doing what's called monocropping, where we're just kind of growing one thing at a time in a row. And that really impacts the quality of the food that we're getting. So this is what leads us to having a decline in the vitamins and the minerals, the nutrients that's in our food supply right now. And I will say that the third part of that is that we tend to fall into a habit of eating a lot of the same foods over and over again. So a lot of us have maybe 5 or 10 staple dishes that we make on a routine basis. So we may not be getting as much variety of different foods in our diet that can really give us the nutrients, the nutrition that our bodies really need. If you think about when we used to be going back, to the days when people were foraging for food, it was kind of like what you could find was available, versus when you go to the grocery store and you pass by 6 green vegetables that you don't like to pick the one green vegetable that you do. You know who I'm talking about, right? Okay. All right. So we know that nutrition is foundational, okay? And we're going to talk about our foundational supplements just after this. But this really allows our body to function optimally. And the two things that I hear constantly, and we're actually the main responses in your questions to registering for this class, the two things that people want the most are increased energy and increased mental clarity. Now, there's plenty of other things as well. We're going to discuss a lot of that this evening, but those are the two main things that I hear pretty frequently: increased energy and increased mental clarity. So this is where nutrition and our supplementation can really help us out. And of course, we know that nutrition is going to support all of our different body systems, right? Everything from the inflammatory responses, cardiovascular health. I mean, this slide could have a million different bodily functions on it that nutrition is supporting. Okay, just want to make sure. Oh, the one thing I didn't mention is that, as you're aware, in the United States, we have the highest budget or cost of healthcare, and yet we tend to be at the very bottom of countries. So we're in terms of how sick we are. So we're one of the sickest countries, if not the sickest, with the highest cost of healthcare. So really, when you think about it, why is that? That's my only thing on the notes here. So let's talk a little bit first about the nutrition line with doTERRA. And this is brand new. It actually just came out in January. And there are 3 different protein powders, and then your greens and your fiber. So the 2 protein powders pictured on the top, that's going to be your vanilla and chocolate, which is made with whey. And this is whey concentrate, which does mean that it has lactose in it. It is a dairy product. So if you are vegan or if you're lactose free, you're going to want to make sure that you go for the vegan protein powder, which is, I believe, vanilla, if I'm correct, Cindy. I think it's vanilla. And then you have your greens and your fiber. So let's dive into these a little bit more with some additional information about these. So you have your nutrition, your protein powder, and these are great to either add to your smoothie, but I think that's probably how most people are taking their protein, their fiber, and their green supplements. But certainly these are things that you can make into a simple shake. You can use, really, you could make it with even water if you wanted to, or whatever type of milk, whether it's a nut milk or an oat milk or a dairy milk, that is to your taste. So the nutrition, go ahead, Cindy, I saw you on mute.
I just wanted to mention how delicious the greens are. When I have my cashew gurt and I'm putting in my chia seeds and flax seeds, and I want to put in that scoop of greens because it adds such a good flavor. Usually greens, it doesn't taste so great, but these, it's so delicious. You could really even just add it to a glass of water, but it really gives it such a nice flavor.
Thank you, Cindy. So the doTERRA nutrition, so this is the protein powders, 21 grams of protein, 150 calories, no added sugar, which if you turn over the container, the back of the packaging for a lot of protein powders, they do have added sugar. And then these are also gluten-free. And then going to our fiber, it's 5 grams of soluble fiber and 1 gram of insoluble fiber. And this is from whole food sources. What they've added into this is actually our lemon essential oil. So that it kind of gives you that nice break from the other tastes of the fiber. They've done the same thing with the greens. So the greens, which are your superfoods, greens that comes from fruits and veggies, and also has your lemon and your ginger. So I'm not going to go again too far into each of these. If you want to know exactly what is in each of them, certainly take a picture here or just jot down so you can get more information on all the different types of protein, fiber, and greens and exactly what's in that. I think when it comes to nutrition, it's important to remember that everything that we're eating is either feeding or fighting, right? So we're either feeding disease or fighting disease. We're either feeding our body or we're really fighting our body at the most foundational level. And I also believe that everything in moderation. So I'm gonna be honest, I probably eat well about 80% of the time. I do occasionally have things like pizza. I admit it, it is gluten-free and dairy-free. But I do sometimes go, and sometimes I have alcohol. I might have a glass of wine. So everything in moderation, okay? And remember that as we are, the food that we're eating, the nutrition that we're putting into our body, for the most part, it's not gonna immediately make you sick. I mean, eating one burger might upset your stomach, something like that. It's not overnight going to create some sort of disease in our body. We're talking about what we've been doing to ourselves over time for an extended period of time. And on top of that, the quality of the water we're drinking, the air that we're breathing, and all of these other things really add up. So let's talk about our supplements. The Lifelong Vitality Pack is our, again, #1 best-selling product. And what I want to make sure that you're aware of is that this is a component of 3 different bottles. The first is your VMZ, that's your food nutrient complex. So that would be your vitamins and minerals. Then you have your Z Omega, which is your essential oil omega complex. So these are your omegas. Now, LLV comes in 2 different types. There is one that comes with marine-based omegas, and there's one that is a vegan. So if you are vegan or if you don't want the marine, you do need to make sure you're purchasing the vegan LLV pack. And then we have the Alpha CRS, which is the cellular vitality complex. And the Alpha CRS is a really interesting supplement because it's really designed to help our cells. When we think about our cells are constantly regenerating in our body, right? So the Alpha CRS is going to help us to regenerate in the best possible healthy way that we can. So Lifelong Vitality is nutritional equivalent of 12 servings of fruits and vegetables in each serving. So depending, I do know a lot of people that only take the Lifelong Vitality Pack to do half a dose, which would be 12 servings. But if you're doing a full dose, then you can see how that would be obviously more. And then made from whole food sources. So no fillers, just the food source. The essential oils really maximize support. I remember listening to a chiropractor talk about essential oils and why they should be in our supplements. Because if you think about our cells, right, if you go back to your essential oil 101 class, your cell is surrounded by that cell membrane, right, that fatty lipid cell membrane. And essential oils can penetrate and go inside our cells. So when you are taking your omegas and these supplements together, the essential oils can actually help to get inside the cell and carry through whatever they can to get inside the cell to try to, whether it's do some repair or just, again, make healthier, replicate healthier cells, that kind of thing. And then the omegas are in a capsule, which preserves their potency for longer. So it is something that does not have to be refrigerated. However, if you can refrigerate it, I recommend that, especially because sometimes our houses just get hot. They're in dark bottles, but you don't want these hot and kind of melting. That's not ideal for any of our supplements or our essential oils for that case. So if you think about your foundation of your supplements, I'm going to compare this to a house and being on a foundation. So think about a house that's on a concrete foundation and think about a house that's not on any foundation. And if a tornado comes through and these two houses are side by side, which house is more likely to be knocked down? Which house is more likely to stay rooted on its foundation, right? The house that has the stronger foundation. So when we think about the tornado being maybe a disease or something unhealthy coming along. So lifelong vitality is really the foundation of our health, and it's compared to the foundation of our homes. I wanted to share an LLV testimonial that I found as I was doing some research for one of my clients who was interested in lowering their LDL. And this person posted in one of our doTERRA pages that they had been taking the Lifelong Vitality for 6 months, which was on a half a dose. And these were their cholesterol levels after. I thought that was my cursor in the center. It's not, it's their cursor in the picture. So this was after 6 months. So if you look at the last 2 columns, you can see that the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different numbers there were very similar with our total cholesterol, 219, 221, 235, 233. Then they shot up to 256, 241. And then look at that one on 8/1/19, dropped to 111. And they are equating this to LLV. What they said in their post is that they didn't change anything else. They didn't change their food. They didn't change their diet. I mean, their exercise habits. They really just started taking a Lifelong Vitality. So if you can't read it, I will just share that this is a lowering of all 4 of these: cholesterol, the HDL, the LDL, and your triglycerides. Excuse me. I've seen several posts like this. This was just the one that was most dramatic that I wanted to share with you, but I have seen this in the doTERRA testimonial page time and time again for not only cholesterol levels, but also for blood glucose for type 2 diabetics. All right, so the other thing that is going to be foundational is obviously our gut health. And if there were any supplements that you were considering taking, it's going to be a good quality multivitamin, just like our LLV, right, in the omega. And then the other thing is something for our gut, because our gut plays a really vital role in our overall health and well-being. We know that about 80% of our immune system is housed in our gut. So this is really important to pay attention to. It's vital in everything from our weight management to our immune function and even our mental wellness. So some things that damage gut health, obviously an unhealthy diet, I think we know that. Antibiotic use, now antibiotics absolutely have their place, but the overuse of antibiotics can really cause, actually the use of any antibiotic can really cause havoc on our gut health. And that's because antibiotics are going in, their goal is to get rid of bad bacteria in our body. However, they can't tell the difference between what's good and what's bad. So they also wipe out the good bacteria. And many times your doctor will tell you, to either take a probiotic or eat yogurt when you're taking antibiotics for the 7 to 10 days. But they don't talk about the fact that 1 round of antibiotics can really do damage on your overall gut health for up to 2 years. And I've even seen some studies that say up to 7 years. So that's pretty intense. And think about it like this. I heard this analogy and I loved it. If you were going to go to the movies, this is an example of pre-COVID, okay? If you were going to go to the movies for a new movie that just came out on opening night and you bought your tickets and you went into the movie theater, you would probably see that every single seat was packed, right? Every single seat was taken. Well, think about the people in those seats as the bacteria, the good bacteria that's in your body, okay? Now let's say that somebody tried to sneak into the theater without paying for a ticket, and that's the bad bacteria. If they try to sneak in when the theater is full on opening night and you have all of this good bacteria, the good bacteria is gonna crowd out that bad bacteria. They're not gonna be able to find a seat. But let's say that your movie theater is empty. That bad bacteria can come in and sit wherever it wants. So think about that bacteria in your gut, okay? What else damages gut health? A lack of regular physical exercise, poor sleep habits, and of course, stress. And the one thing that I want to say about stress is I hear people tell me that they don't feel stress. Stress comes in many different factors. Many of us feel stress, like that weight on our shoulders or that pressure on our chest. Some people don't feel it necessarily as that. However, there can be like the oxidative stress, just the stress of the environment. There are other stressors that you may not necessarily be feeling. So sometimes we don't know that there's something going on in our gut. So what can we do about it? All right, let's talk about the products. First, we have PB Assist. PB Assist is the probiotic. The probiotic is in a capsule that has both a pre and a probiotic. And what happens is the prebiotic is digested in your stomach and the probiotic gets into your intestines, which is where we want to make sure that our probiotics are actually getting to, okay? A lot of the probiotics that are out there, if they're not able to get into your intestines, if they're being destroyed by stomach acid, how helpful are they? There's some benefit, don't get me wrong, but we really want to make sure that our probiotics are delivering into our intestines. So this is what's really important. And then we have PB Assist Junior, which is meant for children. However, adults love it too. And these are little packages, kind of like the best analogy I can give you is like pixie sticks, if you remember pixie sticks, because it's kind of the same thing where you can tear it off and you can either put it in water or you can just go ahead and drop it right into your mouth, just like you would a pixie stick. And those probiotics are also encapsulated to make it into the intestines as well. And you don't have to choose one or the other. You could take both if you wanted to. Now, the PB Assist has that encapsulation that's going to deliver into the intestines. So we want to make sure that you're aware that that's the real benefit to the doTERRA PB probiotic. And then we have Terrazyme, and Terrazyme are digestive enzymes. And I could talk about digestive enzymes for like an hour because I find them so fascinating. The way that the body works is really, really amazing. And the way that we have all these different enzymes that play roles. So the Terrazyme, what it's going to do is it's going to help aid healthy digestion. So this is something that I take in the morning on an empty stomach because overnight as your body is working, it's hopefully getting rid of whatever you've done for the day. But if you have a sluggish gut or a digestive system, or if you have something like leaky gut where food particles are actually getting into your bloodstream, one of the things that the Terrazyme can do is help to cleanse the blood. It also helps to cleanse out old viruses. So this is something that I take every morning on an empty stomach. I also take it with certain meals. Now, with digestive enzymes, you're going to get enzymes from raw foods, but many of us are cooking our food, even if it's fruits and vegetables, might be even just lightly steaming them. So the more cooked they are, the more processed they are, the more I will say they are non-alive. Okay. And so these enzymes you're basically killing in the cooking process are not able to aid in digestion. So there are times like if I was just eating a salad, I probably wouldn't take Terrazyme. Okay. But if I was eating a really heavy meal, if I was having that pizza I mentioned earlier, if I thought I accidentally had some gluten or some dairy, which I don't digest very well, I'm always going to reach for Terrazyme, and I'm going to take anywhere from 1 to 3, depending with that meal, depending what I'm eating and how much I ate and how much I think I may not be able to digest it properly. And you should take Terrazyme about 30 minutes before you eat. Sometimes I forget and I take it with the food. If you're taking it a lot later, it's really not going to aid in the digesting process. So you want to make sure you're taking it 30 minutes before or at least with the food and not after the meal. And go ahead, again, put questions right into the chat if you have them. I'm going to come back at the end and answer those. Okay, here's my photo. This is a picture I took of oatmeal. So what I did was I took 2 bowls of oatmeal, the same amount of oatmeal, the same amount of water, and put them into 2 separate bowls. The picture on the left has digestive enzymes. The picture on the right does not. Okay, so imagine this oatmeal sitting in your stomach. Imagine what's on the right kind of feeling like a heavy brick if you don't have enough digestive enzymes and they're not aiding in that process. With the Terrazyme over on the left-hand side, you can see that it's liquidy. It's actually breaking down the oatmeal. So it's assisting your body to break down that food. Okay, so you see my happy face here for our digestive enzymes. And then a Terrazyme testimonial for bone spurs in the shoulder that were gone after 3 weeks. And this was, again, something I found on the doTERRA testimonial page. Really amazing images here. You can see the bone spurs on the left, gone in the picture on the right after just 3 weeks. This woman was in intense pain. She was putting every essential oil under the sun on her body, trying to get rid of this intense pain in her shoulder. And when figured out what it was, that it was bone spurs, she turned to one of the doTERRA online Facebook groups and actually asked, what can I use for bone spurs? And people suggested Terrazyme. And I believe she was taking a lot. I think she was taking 9 a day, but that helped to get rid of those bone spurs. So pretty cool testimonial for digestive enzymes. All right, so there's your foundation, your lifelong vitality pack, your probiotic, and your digestive enzymes. We're going to talk about some other options for targeted wellness. And so some of these are going to be interesting to you and apply to you with what you have going on, and some are not. Again, the things that you want to know more about, take a picture or go ahead and jot down and we can chat more about them. All right, deep blue polyphenol complex. I just need to move my image up to the side here. Great. Okay, the deep blue polyphenol complex, this is something I take daily. If you're familiar with deep blue oil, this can be taken in tandem, or the deep blue rub can be taken in tandem. So the oil or the rub you're going to use topically on those aches and pains. Deep blue polyphenol complex is a supplement that you're going to use internally. And it's something that you can take daily as for, let's say you have the first line here says, help support muscle and joint discomfort and function. So if you have consistent muscle and joint discomfort, this is something I would recommend taking daily. If you have, the second line says occasional aches and discomfort, then it's something you might want to take more acutely. And my example there is I do take it daily just for overall. I drive a lot, I sit a lot, I'm at my desk a lot. So I do get a lot of tension in my back and in my neck. So it is something that I take daily for just kind of the everyday aches and pains. But let's say that I felt a headache coming on or head tension. I'm going to reach immediately for my deep blue polyphenol complex. I'm going to take one of those along with my essential oils that I'm going to use topically for my headache. So deep blue polyphenol complex is something that, well, I'm going to talk later about how to get this as cheaply as possible, because this is an amazing supplement, but it has frankincense and turmeric and green tea and ginger and a number of other products in it, especially because of frankincense, it can get a little pricey. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek at a little trick at the end about how you can get this supplement for, I think it's like a third of what the cost is. So. All right, adaptive. I also take adaptive daily. Adaptive came out last year, meaning 2019, not 2020, with our, so I guess a year and a half at this point, with our adaptive oil blend as well. And the oil blend is great for calming, for diffusing, for topical use. I love the adaptive capsule. I love the adaptive supplement, and I take this every morning. So my routine is first thing in the morning, I get up on an empty stomach with a full glass of water. I take my Terrazyme, and I take my adaptive. And this is going to help calm and promote positive feelings, support mood, and helps improve a healthy state of mind, encourages relaxation and mental well-being, supports cognitive function and emotional balance, and really helps when acclimating to new surroundings and adapting to stressful situations. This can really help to settle that nervous system. So it's something that I found, especially now that we are in the world that we are in, this is something that it's so important. I want to use the word foundational, because I think with what is going on in the world right now, that it really is foundational to make sure that we are supporting ourselves emotionally as well as, I will say, physically with nutrition and supplementation. So this is the product for that. Turmeric capsules. Okay. So these, oh, you know what? I need to add one more thing. Let me go back. I need to add one more thing about the adaptive. This is something that I noticed an immediate relief from taking. However, studies have been done that show that using this product for 4 weeks can really help to shift the way that people are feeling and are responding to those stressful situations. And the study that was done did include children as young as 12 years old. So it's something to keep in mind for maybe some, I know some kids are homeschooling now, or they're doing distance learning, or they're doing hybrid learning. And even as they go back into school, it's something to think about as well. And that anxiety, I'll call it, or that anxiousness over the change in the normal way of living or schooling. Okay, turmeric. This is really cool. And this is really cool because doTERRA has really patented this technology of the dual chamber capsule. And what this means is that they've taken the turmeric powder from the root, the curcumin, and the turmeric essential oil and combined them into a dual chamber. So what this has done is increase the effectiveness by 11%. So for people who are looking to, a lot of people think about turmeric for a healthy inflammatory response. A lot of people know it for that. The fact that you can get the curcumin powder and you can get the turmeric essential oil together is huge. And doTERRA is the only company that has this technology. May help the body fight free radicals and protect the body from oxidative damage, which is super important, and combines, again, the complementary benefits of the turmeric essential oil with the joint support of the curcuminoids of the turmeric extract, which is a unique and convenient delivery system. This is so cool. And I take this daily as well. I promise I don't take all of these daily. I'll let you know which ones I don't.
I had one thing about turmeric.
Go ahead.
When this was introduced, doTERRA had worked on it for 4 years. 4 years to actually combine this. And as Jillian mentioned, doTERRA is the only company that is combining the oil and the curcumin. So it's really amazing. And it took them such a long time. So it's powerful that doTERRA has this. And that's something I take it twice a day. I take one in the morning and I take one at night. And it's a great supplement.
Thank you, Cindy. Okay, Serenity capsules. A couple of people also mentioned in their registration that they were interested in learning more about sleep. So Serenity, the restful complex, Serenity is an oil blend as well. So something you can drop into your diffuser or use topically or spray on your linens. But Serenity also comes as a soft gel. And so this is not one that I take daily. This is one that I take when I feel that I'm not going to be getting a great night's sleep, or I really want to make sure that I do get a very deep and restful sleep. Like maybe I have an important day and I just need to be able to relax and get into that deep sleep state. Okay. I do know people that take Serenity in the middle of the day just because it helps again with calming and taming some of our emotional responses. Again, calming the nervous system, it says there, and helping to reduce stress. It's not like taking a sleeping pill. Okay, this is not something that's going to force you into sleep. Some people might get a little drowsy if they're very sensitive to, it's lavender, cedarwood, vetiver, the oils that are in there. But it's not something that you're just going to like kind of keel over. Okay, so it's not, don't think of it as something like that, but it is going to aid in that sleep process. Okay, it's going to encourage a restful sleep. I know a lot of people say that they dream a lot when they take Serenity. That's because you're getting into that deep sleep, into that REM sleep, which is what we want. It's what we need to get to in order to really let our body cleanse and do the processes that it needs to at night. Okay, so this is one that I don't take daily. It's one that I take when I really feel that I just want to make sure I get a good night's sleep, or if it's been a few nights where I haven't maybe gotten a great night's sleep. And you can take 1 or 2 soft gels. I would say about half an hour before bedtime. Start your diffuser or your humidifier, whatever your process is. Shut off the TV. Don't eat a big meal. Kind of get ready for that adventure into sleep land. Okay, phytoestrogen and bone nutrient. I actually just got the bone nutrient supplement for the first time. So I don't have a lot to say yet on that from my own personal testimonial, but I have been using the phytoestrogen. And phytoestrogen is something that I have noticed helps to make my monthly cycles, much more regular. It's going to help balance and support normal hormone levels. The bone nutrient, something that's important about that, and it drives me crazy that these 2 supplements say doTERRA Women, because men can use these as well. Okay. First of all, men have hormones. Okay. And secondly, men have bones. Okay. And what's in the bone nutrient is going to be a helpful combination of calcium and magnesium, which a lot of people are deficient in. So it's going to support healthy bones, heart, breast tissue, men have breasts, other body structures and functions as a woman ages. So it's going to also help with your metabolism. One of the things that I learned about phytoestrogen was that our body is making estrogen. Well, many of our bodies are still making estrogen, but we are getting estrogen from other places as well. Okay, the xenoestrogens, the bad estrogens that we don't want. So one of the things that the phytoestrogen is going to do is to help regulate and kind of filter out and get rid of all those xenoestrogens that we don't want to have in our body. So that's one of the reasons when I learned that, I was like, okay, I can't get away from all the xenoestrogens that are out there. So I want to make sure that I'm doing something to help fight that. Let me see. This is also great for restless leg syndrome, which many times is magnesium deficiency. This can be great for broken bones. I mean, obviously, if you need to get a bone set, you need to get a bone set. But this is something that can aid in that process as well as growing pains.
Jillian, can I just add something on this?
Go right ahead.
What's really important for people right now, especially, is to have a good level of magnesium, because magnesium is very balancing for your brain, and you need that neurotransmitter to actually have these neurotransmitters function normally. So, if you're going to the doctor or something, definitely have your magnesium checked. And of course, this is off point, but also your vitamin D level. But magnesium is a huge nutrient to take, and it's really, really important. And most people are very deficient in it. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there.
Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you coming in to talk a little bit more about that, because it is extremely important. And vitamin D as well. There is vitamin D in LLV. To be honest, it's probably not enough, especially because we live in Connecticut. So in what's happening in the world right now, we really do want to supplement with additional vitamin D, but also, I mean, actually, you guys might be able to tell I got a little sun today out in Florida. But in New England and Connecticut, we don't spend as much time in the sun, especially in the winter time, right? So vitamin D is something that's very important this time of year as well.
Yes, and also, you want to be cognizant of what your levels are. So when you go to the doctor, make sure that they're determining, because sometimes they don't take the vitamin D3 level, and you really want it to be 70 or 80. So, and as Jillian just said, we won't mention the C word, but they're saying that the majority of people who are actually presenting with that have very low vitamin D. So I've actually been supplementing 5,000 IUs a month of D to get my level up. So that's super, super, super important.
Jillian, we all in Connecticut got very sunburned today too. We just wanted to share that.
I heard it
I
was
am
like,
so sunburned.
I heard it was like
show it.
45. You guys are having a heat wave.
Sunburn weather.
I'm sorry, it's 80. It's 80 here.
Thanks, Jillian. Continue.
Okay, Mito to max. Oh, so I'm telling you as I go, I do take phytoestrogen every day. I just got the bone nutrient, so I haven't started it yet, but I will be taking that daily. Mito to max. Now, Mito to max is one I don't take daily. Mito to max is one that I take. Mito to max is basically energy in a capsule. Okay, there's no caffeine, but this is something that when I feel like, for example, if I was home, because I actually didn't bring it with me, if I was home today, I would have taken this knowing that I was teaching this class tonight to make sure that I had, and I actually have another class at 8:30, which will go till 10:15. So I need energy throughout my evening. So I would have taken this afternoon if I was home and had it. I don't know why I didn't bring it, other than I didn't have a lot of space. I only brought a backpack down. So Mito to max is the energy and stamina complex. But what's really interesting about this is that it can help to regulate cortisol, which can, of course, it's the effect on your hormones. So it helps to also balance. So this helps with the cellular energy production. So it's not caffeine. It's not something it's not an artificial stimulant like that, but it is going to work within your cells to help enhance stamina, mental energy, the efficient use of oxygen, super important, and it really supports the optimal mitochondrial function. So that's why you create that. That's why taking this gives you that boost of energy. Okay, because you can bring in more oxygen, or the more efficient use of oxygen into the cells. And you can use it as a healthy long-term alternative to caffeinated drinks and supplements for increased energy and vitality. And Cindy, I know you take this daily, so what would you like to share with us?
I just want to share that what you really notice is when you stop taking this. So I take two Max every morning, and I have so much energy. If for some reason I don't take it, that's when you really feel it. But Max is my Energizer bunny. I take 2 of those religiously every day.
Thank you, Cindy. Okay, Zendocrine. Zendocrine is something that I have recently started taking. Zendocrine is part of our cleanse and restore kit, or our the 30-day cleanse and restore that doTERRA does, which is really the only time that I had been taking this previously. I have terrible skin, and I've had several issues with things that I think is leading me to understand that I might have a problem, or not a problem, but an issue, let's say, with the normal detoxification process. So Zendocrine is going to help aid that process. Okay, so if you have skin issues, liver issues, if you drink alcohol, I'm not saying, well, even just a little bit. And this is also going to help because, of course, we know that we're being bombarded with toxins in our environment. Again, water and air and things that we can't necessarily avoid. A lot of our foods are coming in plastic. Even if we are washing fruits and vegetables, there might still be toxins that you just can't get rid of that's inside something you're eating. So Zendocrine is going to help with all of that. It's going to support healthy cleansing and filtering of the liver, kidney, colon, lungs, and of course your skin. Skin is our largest organ. This is, skin issues can really lead you to understand that there's a, detoxification issue happening. Supports normal self-detoxification functions of these organs. Take 2 capsules daily, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening with the meals, unless you were doing the 30-day cleanse. If you're doing the 30-day cleanse, you're going to follow the doTERRA protocol that they've given you, okay? Which actually this one taking the whole 30 days. I think this is taking the whole 30 days, but follow that process, okay? And this can be enhanced by taking either the Zendocrine blend, which is an essential oil blend, or the soft gels. So this also comes in other products. So the Zendocrine supplement is going to be different herbs and things for detoxification, whereas the Zendocrine oil and the soft gel is going to be just the essential oil complex.
Julie, and I just want to add on that too, that it's so important to open up your detox pathways. And I was actually listening to a naturopathic doctor last night talk about this supplement, which is so powerful. And what she was saying is that she pulses it. She'll do it, maybe 15 days on, 15 days off, or she'll do it for a month and not do it for the following month. It's not something that we want to take every single day, but so it was interesting that she had shared that that's how she does it, by pulsing it. So if you are having any kind of issues with detoxifying, this is so key. So just wanted to add that.
Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. Okay, Yarrow Palm Cellular Beauty Complex. So Yarrow Palm there's an essential oil, and there are many people on this call, not pointing anybody out, but I can still see Kim, who love their Yarrow Palm essential oil. And it's great for skin. And the Yarrow Palm oil can also be used internally as a supplement, but there's also this cellular beauty complex. And when I when I listened to a call recently, they were talking about the overall immune support. This was one of the products they talked about. And I was like, what? That's supposed to just make you look pretty. Well, no, That's much, much more than that. So your Yarrow Palm Beauty Complex, this is going to help improve skin firmness, excuse me, and reduce those skin imperfections. It's going to illuminate and brighten. So again, great for the skin. Everything in here is so great for the skin, and you can use it in tandem with your Yarrow Palm oil, which you're going to use, you know, topically on your face. There's also a serum that's great for the back of the hands and the décolleté, all of that. But the Yarrow Palm Beauty Complex is also going to promote cellular health, right? That's why we're going to look so beautiful. It's why we're going to illuminate and brighten our complexion. Well, if it's doing that on the outside, guess what it's doing on the inside, right? I mean, hello, like light bulbs went off when I realized that this could be so beneficial to our cells on the inside as well as on the outside. Okay. And it helps maintain skin's youthful appearance by combating that oxidative stress. So if it's doing it on the outside, it's doing it on the inside, right? So, okay, one thing I have never taken is the Yarrow Palm Beauty Complex. I've never taken it. I've used the oil. So I've already decided when I was getting this PowerPoint ready, I was like, why am I not taking this? Okay, I am going to actually go in and order it tonight when we get off, just so you all know. So next time I teach this class, I will have beautiful glowing skin. Something else.
Could you be more beautiful than you are right now, Jillian?
Oh, thank you, Kim. So again, it's immune boosting, right? It's going to be supportive of your immune system and also fight free radicals on the outside and on the inside. So exciting. Okay, so I promised you I would talk to you because I believe everybody on, I know a few people registered a little bit later, but I believe everybody on has an account. So I want to talk to you about how you can customize your Lifelong Vitality Kit and get some of these supplements at a discount, okay? So we have a couple of options here. There is the Daily Nutrient Pack on the left and your Lifelong Vitality on the right. The Daily Nutrient Pack is the VMZ, which is your multivitamin, basically. It's your minerals and vitamins and minerals. And then you have your omegas. What's not in the Daily Nutrient Pack is the Alpha CRS, the cellular blend. I'm going to be honest, for the difference in price, I highly encourage you to go for LLV, the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and go for the Alpha CRS, because what's in that is just an amazing complex. It's an amazing supplement. But with either one of these, what you can do is you can choose up to 3 additional supplements that reduce costs. So remember when I said the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex earlier, that's what I take when I'm starting to feel a headache, and that's what I take for aches and pains, the helping, you know, reduce inflammation and maintain a healthy response to those aches and pains. Well, the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex on its own is, I want to say it's $80. I think it's $60. So when you package it or when you add it to the Lifelong Vitality, it's only $60. So it's a savings, right? It's a third of the cost. That's amazing. So I always buy my Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex when I buy my LLV, and I can add up to 3. It doesn't have to be one. It doesn't have to be 3 different products. If that month I just need extra Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex, which actually happened recently when my parents came to Florida, we get one month we just did 3 so that we could have an extra and build those up. Okay, you can add on your Mitotemax for $20. You can add on extra of the Microplex VMZ or also the omegas if you wanted to. But then you can also do your Terrazyme and your PB Assist. So remember, those are your digestive enzymes and your probiotics, the foundational health, the Lifelong Vitality Pack, the probiotic and the digestive enzymes. So you can add those for $20. On their own, if you have an account, they're for wholesale pricing, they're like $35 to like $37 each. So again, significant savings. The other thing is when you order on LRP, the Loyalty Reward Program, you start off making 10% back for 3 months, and then it goes to 15, 20, 25, and it caps out at 30%. And you get free shipping, or you get your shipping, I should say, returned to you in the way of points. And I think everybody on the call understands this, but for somebody who might be listening to it later, I just want to describe this or explain this in a little bit more detail, because what it means to get points back, the points can be used on other doTERRA products the next month. So this is huge to understand that right now, when I purchase my Lifelong Vitality Pack and I add on my Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex and my TerraZyme and my PB Assist, I am getting back for that year, I'm making 324 points that I can use towards free oils or free products. That's a significant savings. I have been with other companies where I have, which have amazing, amazing supplements, but they weren't giving me anything back. This is like going to Whole Foods to purchase your supplements and having them hand you a check to come back next time. Okay, so this is huge. The other thing that you can add on is the kids kit. So there are kids multivitamin, multivitamin, excuse me, and the omegas as well. And that's what's pictured down there on the right-hand side. I don't have children, so I don't use it. But I have heard that it makes a great French toast. So just keep that in mind, even if you don't have kids. Anybody want to add to that before I go to the next slide? I know somebody has something they're just burning to say.
Well, like you said, Jillian, it's such a huge savings, especially Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex. You're saving $40, but of course I get Mito to Max, and I always get Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex, and then I either get TerraZyme or PB Assist. But it really is such a significant savings in order to add this on. So I love it. Order it every month.
Significant savings to add it on, but then Cindy, you're also getting back points that you can use towards free product. So that's amazing. So I'm going to take the 324 points that I have sitting in my cart right now, and I'm going to get my Yarrow Palm Complex totally free. Right. And actually, that's how I ordered my my phytoestrogens and my bone nutrient, because the phytoestrogen you can't purchase right now on its own, it's out. So I was like, well, I'll just buy the kit with the Claricom. I'm going to use that. And so when I went, I was like, oh, I'm just going to use points for it. So why not?
And Kim's just going to use all the points for Yarrow Palm. You know that.
Yes.
It is a disease and a sickness, and I have it.
You know, $324 in free oils or supplements. That's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. So, all right. So I just want to share with you this last quote. And suddenly you just know it's time to start something new and trust the magic of beginnings. And I want you to think about that because, you know, it is February. We're going to be coming into springtime. It's time for renewal. It's time to maybe do some cleansing, to do some detoxing, whether that's spring cleaning in your home or spring cleaning of your body. So think about that as you're thinking about what your nutrition plan is going to be, as well as what it is that you're going to add in for different supplements. So I know there's some things in the chat. I don't know if it was questions or not, but I'm going to go ahead and stop my share so I can see it. Okay. And actually, I'm also going to go ahead and stop the recording because I think we're coming up just on an hour and I'd like to keep it under an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and thank everybody who's listening to the recording. And again, if you have any questions about anything specific, you can either look it up on the doTERRA website or feel free to reach out to me. Jillian Chase, you can find all my contact information in the email.